Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spell Country with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've covered all of this week's Marvel books as well as a couple of this week's DC books. Now it's on to the last batch of DC books, the Bat books. Kicking things off, we've got Detective Comics number 1056, continuing the Shadows of the Bat storyline. Where we left off, Arkham Tower was in the hands of the inmates. Or in the hands of the patients, I should say. And the Scarecrow revealed himself to be among them and made a play for control. And Dr. Ware had been removed from the building through one of the higher floor windows. Also, the mayor's wife was having a conversation with Psycho Pirate. So we begin a few weeks before the opening of Arkham Tower. Deb Donovan talking to the mayor's wife. And she's just, to be fair, Deb doesn't even think it's a good story. And she tells her editor as such, even insisting that they abandoned plans for the interview with her. But Psycho Pirate and her are talking about things. He explains that he was the secret of the Arkham Tower. Though the idea is that once mayoral funding hit, Dr. Ware was going to leave, and well, yeah. Huntress making her way through the tower, and Stephanie, Batgirl, is in one of the sub basements. Dr. Meridian is tied to a chair and is found by the party crashers, who mean to do the same to her as they did to Dr. Ware. However, Dr. Meridian is saved by Harley Quinn, explaining that no, it was not a fake Harley Quinn, it was the real deal. She was actually pretending to be a fake. But she calls up Batwoman. Basically getting an idea of what to do next. Take down security. And she leaves to go take down security and leaves a gun with Dr. Meridian. And Huntress fights with the other patients, who tries to stab her the same spot she's already been stabbed, when Harley walks by. And is about to take her mallet to the entirety of the security systems. And yeah, security's down, so Cass and Batwoman and Red Robin are all able to get in. And Scarecrow makes his demands. and drops Nightwing from the top floor. Batwoman tries to save him, but she loses her grip. However, Nightwing is saved by the arrival of Batman. And the main story ends with an Avulsion shooting someone. So it's not clear if it's the mayor's wife or Psycho Pirate. Which brings us to our backup story, House of Gotham. Where we left off, it was no man's land. The boy had brokered a deal for some of the people he was encamped with, and Killer Croc, and they were all working together. But they bring food and supplies to Leslie Tompkins. Though Leslie states that Croc is not welcome when they show up. The boy meets with Helena at Robinson Park. But apparently there's a cache of food. So the boy leads some of his people down there. The area has been tagged by the Bat Squad, though. And the boy realizes fairly quickly that they're being watched. Apparently he figured out who she was immediately. Huntress and the boy have a fight, which Batman breaks up. But the boy tells Batman that he's not running a gang that preys on the helpless. They are the helpless. And Huntress is about to go after them, but Batman stops her, saying, "No, I made a mistake." With Batman telling them, as long as the boy and his people help those around them and don't hurt the innocent, the Bat Squad won't get in their way again. However, he does add that when No Man's Land is over, the boy is done doing this. But after Batman and Huntress leave, the boy kind of has his own little breakdown about the whole thing. He is still afraid of Batman. But that is where our issue ends. And Arkham Tower and House of Gotham are both knockouts, as always. I have my suspicion when it comes to Harley Quinn and Arkham Tower. I have my suspicions, but it seemed like too easy of a thing, you know. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Batgirls number 4, which also has a variant cover inspired by the Batman. So where we left off in Batgirls, the Batgirls faced Tudor and managed to put a tracking device on him. While at Tudor's art show, Barbara ran into an old friend, potentially an ex, and afterwards, Seer hacked the Batgirls network and kind of just showed she could and mess with Oracle a little. So, the Batgirls have a bit of a day off. That night they're going to go after Tudor, but yeah. They go to a local bookstore, and one of their neighbors, it's run by one of their neighbors, and Cass is given a book by the neighbor, who explains that the first read is on him. They leave. Also, their neighbor, who Stephanie suspects of being the Hill Ripper, popped in. Stephanie tries to follow him, but they run into Barbara's ex, who recognized them, even though they were, in full Batgirl gear at the art exhibit. They do a comms check and go after Tudor. However, the Saints see Stephanie and Cass going out and are ordered to observe and report. But they get to where Tudor's tracker is, but he's not there. However, Cass and Stephanie discover a trapdoor go underneath, and they find him. But some of his followers are there. He has some of his followers there, and they gang up on Cass, while Stephanie is trying to fight the effects of Tudor's gas. And Cass manages to get through to her, and there's a bit of a plan. Steph gets affected by the gas. Cass gets in close to Tudor and ducks when Stephanie swings. But Cass is able to snap out of it by reminding her that they're best friends. But they take down Tudor, put him in their car, and yeah. The Saints assume that Tudor's a hostage, but Barbara tells them to take Tudor to her ex. And apparently he knows Tudor. They work together, therapist-patient manner. But the good doctor reminds Tudor that during their sessions he's not Charles Dante. He is Spellbinder. And he's got a costume for that too. So yeah. Babs sure can pick him, can't she? Yeah, Batgirls is proven to be fun. That brings us to our next book, Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 9. Where we left off in the last issue of Nightwing, Nightwing was fulfilling his promise to Superman to keep an eye, to be there for John if, John needs help. Dick Grayson went to talk to the Truth, and Metropolis talked to the Truth. Shortly after, it was reported that former Titan Risk had been killed in Metropolis. Superman and Nightwing investigate, and someone with powers did it. There were additional superheroes killed that night, the same night. But Nightwing takes down some of the smaller level LexCorp related actions on it solo. Basically, get the attention of the Rising, who killed Risk. They throw Nightwing off a building, and however, he's fine. Got Meanwhile, in the nation of Gamora, President Henry Bendix is watching through the eyepieces of the Rising. Superman and Nightwing take them down, except for one of them, and however, that one Bendix has that one blown up while being held by Superman. Afterwards, Nightwing gives him a comforting hug, and I say, "Hey, there really was nothing he could do." But Dick talks some with Lois, and then had a further supportive chat with John and John explained to him there was a dimension he was in where he aged 5 years, and every day he always hoped that Nightwing would show up with a lollipop to take him home. But then John's boyfriend comes to the wall because apparently the Gamora had altered the footage and posted an altered version of the footage of the Rising exploding, blaming Superman. But Nightwing and Lois plan to do something about it. A multifaceted attack on Gamora. I assume Nightwing has to be a bit more subtle, a bit subtle as well. And that is where the issue ends. I'm not sure if the next issue of Nightwing is going to cross over with Son of Kal-El, but I guess we'll see. Now, moving on to our next book, though, we've got I Am Batman, number 7. Also, one thing I'd say about that issue of Superman is that it's nice to see a crossover between two books that are written by the same writer, because none of the characterizations feel out of place. So, yeah. Anyway, where we left off in I Am Batman, the mayor of New York decided to make a police detail that would work with Batman. Leading it is Detective Chubb, formerly of Gotham City, and she insists that her partner from Gotham, Detective Whitaker, be brought in. However, a local philanthropist who had been found rather viciously murdered. The police commissioner asked some questions, but everyone wants to talk with the Batman squad. Chubb and Whitaker tried to throw the murder Batman's way, and because it's a weird one. But he explained he's looking into some arms dealers. So it's decided that the Bat detail will, the police will take care of the arms dealers while Batman investigates the murder. Whitaker talks to Chubb, basically, saying, "Hey, be the leader they need." Tanya Fox talks to the mayor. Vol and Jace do some investigating of the victim as well as those around him. The working theory being that the bodyguard killed him because so Jace goes after the bodyguard. Jace's sisters talk about some of the things going on with her family at the moment. Batman catches up to and takes down the bodyguard who did not kill his boss. But there's the fact that he knew he couldn't. He was trying to basically keep a low profile so that he wouldn't have to testify about the things that his client had done. The cops break into the warehouse with the weapons. They bring down the perps and collect the weapons. Meanwhile, the police commissioner and the mayor's aide are plotting. And I gotta say, every time I see the police commissioner, I'm kind of reminded of a line from Blade Runner about the kind of cop that the officer who pulled Deckard out of retirement was. But Batman is doing some further investigating. He also apologized for not believing in the seriousness of the murder. But looks like he may have found his killer's home base and is then attacked by Man Ray, whose base that actually might be. And that is where the issue ends. Iron Batman's been pretty solid. It's kind of neat seeing Ken Lashley doing a monthly again. So next we've got Batman Urban Legends number 13. So where we left off, John Constantine had showed up to help Batman and Zatanna, figuring something was rather wrong, but and something fallen through the portal they were trying to deal with. So we begin seeing the life of young Jackie Day, right up to the point where he was killed by the woman who came to the portal. But Constantine knows there's another problem with Batman and Zatanna. They appear to be fading away. But they figure they've got to do something. Batman and Constantine have an argument. Constantine and Zatanna talk things over, and it seems like they begin a ritual. But the sorceress from the beginning returns, and John seems to have his soul knocked out and is killed, and that is where the issue ends. Next up, we got the third and final part of the White Witch story. She's remembering her past, including the fact that she was once in love. But every time she's brought back, she retains more and more of what she learned. And so, but Simon Saint is not happy with her current performance and shoots her. But she talked about the things that she's remembered before she gets shot. And that is where the story ends. Which brings us to Eternity in Gotham. Kid Eternity is working for the Gotham City morgue, and he's investigating the death off the books of one of his neighbors. Or it seems that maybe the landlord may have been responsible, but after Kid Eternity gives his origin, that's not the case. But the real culprit is found and taken care of. Which brings us to Ace the Bat Hound and Hounded. So where we left off, both Batman and Ace have been captured by the Russian mob. Ace has been delivered to a pet cemetery where they experiment on animals as well, and he basically brought together all the test subjects, and well, yeah. Meanwhile, our Russian mob boss of Gotham wants to remove Batman's mask, but Batman manages to impress him. Then, after seeing everything the Russian mob boss that Batman could do, the Russian mob boss is actually interested in what's going on here. But then the excuse me. But mob boss gets a call from one of his people that all of the animals have apparently been spotted together, and that is where the issue ends. The stories thus far in Urban Legends have been pretty good, so yeah. Anyway, moving on to our last book for the week, we've got Future State Gotham, number 11. Where we left off, Hunter Panic, Red Hood, and the new Batman were trying to make sure that the new Joker, who now had control of all of the magistrate drones, didn't kill Tobias Whale. But we begin with, at city limits, the magistrate checkpoint, the prison transport carrying punchline is stopped. But Harley shows up to deal with some of the drones, and, well, her baseball bat, she's able to do something, but not a lot. But she gets to meet the new Batman, and so states that he's got weird taste in Robins because Red Hood's the worst one. The team is split up with Hunter Panic and Harley being there near the bottom floor, and meanwhile Jason and the next Batman have got to go pick up. Also, Nightwing is given a brain harness similar to the harness that Bane utilized for Venom. Activates it, and he sees a lot, but he probably passes out. At one of the satellite bat caves, Batman and Red Hood go through some of the gear. Both of them finding things that they could definitely make use of. Meanwhile, Hunter Panic and Harley are dealing with the drones and the next Joker when Red Hood and Batman show up. Both of them having some upgrades from one of the satellite Batcaves. Red Hood has a mech suit that can change into a motorcycle, and Batman shows up wearing a modified version of the Dark Knight Returns armor. And that is where the issue ends. And that's it for this week's roundup. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.